Okay, welcome to part 4 for my walkthrough in The Surge. The last part, we tackled the first part of the Creo World DLC, A Walk in the Park DLC. Now we are going to try and... What the fuck is that noise? There's like this static noise. Okay, it's gone, but... Okay, so... Static's back. The fuck? Static kinda lessened a bit, so I think that's fine. So yeah, we're going to tackle the other DLC, which is the Good, the Bad, and the Augmented. First we want to make it there without dying, so... where the DLC is located.
Already here, City Slicker?
So as soon as you arrive at Central Production after beating PAX, you will be given tickets up to episodes 3 of the DLC.
Destiny.
So this DLC is more like a...
Oh, sorry about that. Didn't see you moseying around there, Tenderfoot.
non-story DLC.
I'm the
It doesn't really provide much for the story, but it does give the player more implants and more challenges. Basically, it's like a training room. That's why the chamber's called the testing chamber.
And don't worry
so you usually come here when you need to grind, when you need to find more implants, when you need to get proficiency, getting better at the game, etc, etc, because there will be challenges that will help the player get better in all aspects of the game, as well as rewards for completing those challenges. Well, I'm not going to tackle every and each challenge because it will take a long time, so I'm just gonna go through each episode like one by one, unless it requires me to do so. Like, there are some episodes I might repeat to like make the game a lot easier, but to repeat the same episodes just to get particular implants repeatedly, I'm probably not gonna do that much. So save your checkpoint at the med bay, bank the scrap. Now this is the console for which you can pick your modifiers. See, each episode allows you to enter a constructed frontier area of the testing chamber complex. Surviving 2 rooms and defeating the challenger completes the episode. Challengers are like the bosses of that particular episode. Completing an episode awards tech scrap and implants. Always remember, if you die before finishing, the loot you earned will be lost. So this is not like the base game where when you die, you drop your tech scrap and you won't be able to get it back. Here, during the 2 testing chambers, that the 2 rooms of each episode, if you die in any of those 2 rooms, you completely done. You lose all the XP you accumulated, you lose all the loot that you earned, everything is gone. There are some exceptions though, and I don't know which triggers it, but sometimes that's not the case. Or it is the case, and then later on the loot somehow magically pops into my inventory. I don't know. Maybe there's still a few bugs that need to be fixed, but let's just move forward. So these are the modifiers. You can actually see what the modifier does. I mean, you can actually see the name of the modifier, but not what it particularly does. So this one, Energy Dynamo, Leech, Rush Hour, Combo Breaker. The 4th tier here is like the most underused and useless modifier, so I kinda urge people during the first playthrough not to get into it that much. But there are trophies to be achieved from doing the, each and every one of the modifiers, and there is a trophy for doing 4 of the most difficult modifiers activated in one particular episode. So if you're into that, feel free to do it. I'm just not gonna cover it in this guide because we're mainly focusing on the base game, and we're just using the DLCs to like give us a push towards that end. Trying to enjoy the DLCs, using the DLCs to our advantage so that we can finish the game with as much frustration as possible. So that's why we're doing DLCs. So getting back to it, we have not unlocked any modifier yet. I think the first modifier here will be unlocked after you finish episode 1 of Frontier Riders, and other modifiers will be unlocked along the way. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. You press triangle to assemble the episode. You press and hold triangle.
Assembly initiated.
So now it's assembling. It's loading the episode. So he said Cole Shovel twice. That's the first. He never usually repeats the lines.
Warren was late. The Iron Horse had left the station, but the bandits had boarded their wagon just in the nick of time. They slaughtered everyone on board in cold blood. Even that poor, innocent ticket collector. Next time, he should get himself a watch, or at least a sundial.
Okay, so this is the first episode. As you can see, you can't go back. Once you enter, the only way back is, to let Warren die. So this is a pretty straightforward episode. It tells you dying before reaching the challenge. The challenger will cause the loot gathered in this episode to be lost. So you have to be very careful. So as you can see, as you arrive on top, there is a ghost train that repeatedly charges straight through, and you would want to avoid that ghost train at all costs. Okay? And in order to progress, you're gonna want to kill any and all the enemies around. There is an exception though. There is an exception to the rule to clear the area without killing enemies, but we're not going to get through that yet. We're going to do this very nice and slow. So we land, taking care that the train won't hit us. Also be careful, it's very easy to fall down and die, so...
Strange, the cowboy exclaimed, realizing too late that he was talking to himself. I can still hear the passengers scream their hearts out, but there's nobody around.
Why can't I view the channels now? It's weird. Oh well. So we killed the drones. So the bridge train. There's a lower train here that acts as a bridge. It acts as a bridge as soon as you defeat all the enemies in the particular platform. So that's what we did. So we picked up a lucky coin. That serves as an extra life. But keep in mind that extra life doesn't work in the rooms of the first two rooms. It only works before, when you're fighting the boss. If you die to the boss, that's when the lucky coins get used up, not before. So if I die here, I start the level all over again. So yeah, you can use the train to lure the enemies, and you know, sometimes when the enemies are right next to it, I mean, they take damage, and if you're really lucky, they sometimes end up dying. So yeah, so you can't go back anymore. Well, you can. So I'm gonna show what you can do when there's no bridge. You can either walk like this, or you can jump like this. So those are the two ways to get across without fighting any of the enemies. So there's something that I want to check real quick. Yeah, there is. So there are loot pyramids scattered across, and some of them are easier to get to than others. And that's like one of the example of difficult to get to loot pyramid. So now that there is no more bridge, we're going to have to like either walk it or jump it. Jumping is very risky, so they're both actually very risky. But jumping seems to be a bit, you know, easier to do. So yeah, the harder the modifier, or the more the number is, the higher the chance that the enemies will be equipping frontier armor. Frontier armor pieces, once you collect all the schematics and then craft all of the set pieces, you will be rewarded with a brand new jumpsuit, which I probably won't feature here. So yeah, this is one of the examples of being really close to the edge, and because most, if not all, of Warren's attacks causes him to go forward, you have to be extra careful not to fall off.
As the lonesome cowboy rode off into the sunset, he heard a faint whistle in the distance.
So we're done with the first room.
Yet he didn't shed a single tear for the passengers, because he knew where the train was going. They'll be much better off in the next
Off to the second room.
he muttered happily.
I might spend an hour just explaining the 3 episodes.
Warren felt as if the desert's scorching heat was punching him directly in his purty little face. The sun was almost unbearable. He was sweating bullets. Bullets? Wait! Suddenly he wondered why he never brought his darned six-shooter to these fights.
So this is the second room of the episode. Oh, finally I am able to see people streaming. Oh, it's just me and some other guy. So in this episode, you're gonna see that being directly under the sun damages you. We're gonna keep watching this guy until he dies just to prove it. See?
I'm almost impressed.
The guy died because of the sun. So we were going to like do our best to avoid being under the sun and sticking to the shade. So there is a enemy that was lying down. So as soon as you beat the 3 enemies in the first area of the room, the door unlocks. So now there's 2 ways to do this, but since we're low in health and don't really have a sustainable heal at the moment, we're gonna have to lure him. So we go close until he moves, and we lure him back, then we take care of him. We do this in the beginning. Later on, it won't matter if you get damaged by the sun, because you're going to have a lot of heal and a lot of regeneration later on. So we can lure this guy over here, allowing him to take a bit of damage before arriving to us.
You loco son of a gun!
So this is the shortcut that will stay locked until we complete this particular episode. So we're playing as careful as we possibly can.
You are merciless!
So the same thing, we're gonna lure this drone here.
You know, I'm almost starting to... Oh, fuego! Fuego!
Second lucky coin. Keep in mind that you, by default, have a lucky coin on you when you start the stage. So basically, we now have 3 lucky coins. If we somehow beat the boss with all 3 lucky coins intact, we get more XP, or we get more tech scrap.
Warren had a reputation for taking the way of least resistance.
So back there, I lured the narrator to like
remorse. The cowboy cut corners.
say the lines whenever you use the shortcut, but we didn't really actually use the shortcut. So there's going to be 2 enemies here. We can actually avoid them and go straight through, but since we're already here, might as well, you know, kill them. Gain the tech scrap. So that guy was like blocking his way. And we're done with all the rooms of the episode. So now we just need to face the challenger, or in other words, the boss of the episode. You can also choose to like abandon. But as you can see, although you may take all your loot and all the tech scrap, the episode isn't considered cleared, and you have to complete it one way or another sooner or later. Now, a very important thing to note, the bosses here are humanoid, meaning you can make full use of the drone that stuns them, or the concussion drone, making the boss fight a lot easier than if you were going to fight them without it. So even the arena itself has like traps that will keep you on your toes. You can actually go for the weapon. Yes, and the boss gets damaged by the projectile that come out, that shoot out from, I don't know from where, which is good. And we're done with the first episode.
Of the Glorious 12. A gang of ruthlessly effective and effectively ruthless criminals. He wondered how many more there were.
Now we can check what the weapon does. Not bad, and
Sadly,
not that good either.
he wasn't the sharpest axe in the teepee.
So another important thing that I need to point out: if you do an episode with tech scrap on, if you, like for example, I have 7,000 right now, and I activate the episode, I lose 7,671 tech scrap. I don't know if that's intended or I don't know. So if you want to keep going, I advise you to bank the tech scrap. Let's move on to the second episode. So now we've unlocked like 7 modifiers, which we're gonna make use of right now.
I call it symbiotic freeloading.
Leech is by far the best modifier in the entire. It's supposed to make your life a lot difficult, but it actually makes your life a lot easier. Why? Because it gives you the ability to take life, to like absorb HP according to your level of damage. Like if you do a lot of damage, you absorb a lot of HP. So this is and when you do a execution, you still get life. So it doubles as life on hit and life on kill. So this is by far very, very useful. The downside, of course, is the enemies also have it. So if you get hit, they also heal up. So it gives you like it gives you reason to try your best to not get hit and to hit them a lot more. So it's definitely a really good modifier. Also, it gives the most tech scrap bonus in this particular tier, the first tier, which is the gain life tier. So we're gonna make use of that. I don't think I'm going to be making use of the other modifiers just because it's just way too good to not use. Vintage, sped up black and white fun. Just like the good old days, no sound effects. So it's a bit sped up and it's black and white. So you won't be able to discern which one's armored or which one's not armored, and there won't be any sound effects, meaning you won't be able to tell when an enemy is right behind you, about to like lunge and charge at you. So it's I for one think it's like one of the very more difficult modifiers, even though it's like the first tier in terms of difficulty of this particular thing. So Medivoltaic Max is very, very useful, but not in the first playthrough, because one, it takes 40 core power. That's a ton of core. I'm not even past 40. My core level is like 39 or something. So I won't be able to use it anyway in this run, because you need a lot more implants, and this one just uses up 40 levels for one implant slot. So we're not gonna make use of this. It is, however, very useful in your subsequent playthroughs where you got tons of core power and a particular armor set that makes full use of its healing capabilities. So we don't need to like get it now.
Kicking it old school, huh?
This one, short fuse. If you don't cut limbs, it forces you to cut limbs, or else they're going to like damage you. They're gonna blow up in your face automatically if you kill them without cutting their limbs off. This one's a bit more forgiving, but it also, makes things a bit difficult, forcing you to be on your toes every time. This does not combo well with this modifier. Why? Because before one bomb blows up, there's going to be an indication. There's going to be a sound, boom, right? Yeah, excuse the sound effects. Since you're playing with no sound, this one will pretty much, you won't know when it's gonna blow. But even then, we're probably gonna go for it. We're just gonna try to be a bit more careful. And this Poltergeist, I'm not really a fan of any of the modifiers here, because they make things a lot more difficult than they should be. Like for example, Poltergeist, you only see the weapons, you don't see the enemies. It's very easy to ignore an enemy you don't see and you just see the weapon. And sometimes, most of the time, when there is an enemy that loses its weapon, you won't be able to know where the enemy is unless you keep on tapping on the lock-on button, hoping to find it. So we're still gonna go for it because we need that tech scrap gain. But yeah, I'm probably gonna call it if I die in any of the runs. And I'll just continue later on. So we're gonna go through with that. Hopefully we don't die and lose all the tech scrap. So we're going for episode 2. There is one that we need to unlock, which is this Chronomaster. So free a stage like a yellow belly. And there's another one we can unlock by defeating less than 10 enemies in one run. So we're probably gonna do this first, because this one actually is better than Vintage. But I think we should probably do all the episodes first. See, episode 4 is still locked until we progress through the game. So here's episode 2.
Barrel chamber assembly initiated.
Also important thing to note, when you do cut a limb, there's going to be a silent thing that shows you. Oh man. Yeah, that one for example. So it's kind of amusing and annoying at the same time. And you can see that the bombs are blowing up. We don't even hear when they're about to blow up. So some modifiers combo really well with each other and others not so well. So you can activate the bomb and then just run, or see, the damage is no joke. You might want to like clear the area of bombs because it's hard to lock on when there are like a bunch of bombs there. But it doesn't seem like there are any enemies that are coming down. But just to be sure, you want to like constantly locking on and so yeah. Oh yeah, this is the stage where you have to stay on the pressure plate so that the cage door, cage gate goes down. But you can actually jump over it, so you don't have to keep waiting for it to go down. So I'm just gonna show you real quick where the shortcut is, although we can't access it until we complete this episode. This is where the first lucky coin is, or second. Oops. See, it's really hard to like focus here. We can activate the bombs. So when somebody falls down, they will, yeah, like that for example, he's gonna fall down and get blown up. Except he was charging way too fast, so the bomb didn't activate. Oh, there was somebody here. See, someone's falling. Just keep spamming L2 to see if somebody falls off, because you really can't see them. The black and white also does not help in discerning where the enemy's weapons are. Huh, you can jump now. So the first room is completed and we are very low in life. So we're gonna hope to like get the life back from attacking enemies and hopefully performing an execution blow. We first fight the drone. Then the humanoid that's sleeping. And finally the smelter bot. down with the smelter bot. There's nowhere else to go but down. If you had the shortcut unlocked though, you would be able to go straight through, but we don't, since this is the first time we are going to clear the area. The coffin guys are more dangerous than the claw guys because they do way more damage when they perform a charging attack. So we're gonna want to do our best to avoid those. Tricky. So down below there is a gas chamber, so we want to press the switch so it doesn't activate once we fall down. Grab the loot. This is where you want to fall off. There'll be like 3 enemies here, I think. Focus on the coffin holders. That's a coffin right there, so that's probably the one we need to focus on first. Be careful, because you might fall off to your death. Again, be very, very careful of the cliffs in this game. Okay, this is dangerous. Guy died. Yeah. It was a good run, although it didn't work. Didn't work out. So I lost all the accumulated tech scrap, but I gained proficiency. The game's way of giving you a consolation prize. So we are not going to be making use of vintage. Instead, we're going to do the run with only these 2 modifiers, the first episode, so that we can unlock Chronomaster, which will be a better version, which will be a better modifier than vintage.
Barrel chamber assembly initiated.
Oh, I forgot. When you're making use of the leech modifier, be sure that you're not using injections or, because they're completely useless. So they're basically taking up a slot which you can use for either damage or health. So we're not gonna make use of the injections. We're gonna make use of health, I guess. So Medivoltaic can be used for health. Okay, so now we have a lot of health and enough to make it through. Actually, episode 2 has a really good modifier, so I'm probably gonna go for episode 2 first. I mean, really good implant
Barrel
reward.
chamber assembly initiated.
So let's complete episode 2. We're setting up the traps.
Maybe you really are.
Now we can make the jump. I guess it's good that I died there so that you guys will know that dying here definitely drops, makes you lose all your tech scrap without any method to retrieve them. You can retrieve tech scrap you lost.
One of these days, you'll learn how to properly finish them.
So, advanced combat strats. If you can, use the square button to provide you with invincibility frames. See what I did there? The execution animation basically saved me from getting hit. Usually this room is not much of a problem. It's the room next to it. The room that follows it that's a pain in the ass.
On the brink of destruction. People wanted a true hero with glistening teeth, a roguish smile, and seconds to die for. Their wait almost over.
See how easy it is without the black and white modifier?
Diggity damn! Watch your feet, cowboy! Don't ever invite a blunderbuss like you to the town dance!
No idea how I managed to get that. So I have no idea why the minecart here does not damage the enemies the same way as the ghost train does. Making it more annoying than it should be.
I'll give you this. You really know how to trigger me.
Okay, one last area of this fucking room. We're done. So again, take care of the coffin holder real quick, followed by this fucker. Use iframes. Then fight this fucker over here. And we're pretty much done. We don't really need to fight that drone, I think. Just get the lucky coin, because he usually stays in the air, usually really close to the ledge, and we don't want to fall off said ledge. So we're just going to like go kill him here, I guess. He was basically just waiting for us to kill him. And we reached the boss. Thank goodness. I think I'm gonna call it after this episode actually. It's already been like 51 minutes. So we wanna dodge these guys first before moving in. He heals. We're done.
Another bandit leader down. Warren felt like a real go-getter today. But somehow, he knew the worst was yet to come. As usual.
Now you can make use of the Plasmic Omni Boost, which increases every attribute. I mean, from health to energy. Increases health, stamina, and energy. Very useful. Just checking which one we can get rid of. Let's level up a bit. Now we're able to take on, and we unlock all the implant slots, which is basically what we wanted to do during this run. We can now take on episode 3 without much problems. So again, Danger Close and Leech would be the modifier of choice at this moment.
Barrel chamber assembly initiated. The cowboy wasn't a man of distinction. His family tree was a shrub, and he couldn't even track a tumbleweed across an acre of fresh snow. Despite that, he had finally arrived at his destination, the town's graveyard. It was a long overdue reunion with all those friends he'd lost over the years. This time, though, he'd have the last.
Ouch. Lee, ouch. So in order to progress this, we have to like interact with this switch.
What I needed.
So we're more or less done. Now, We just need to kill this drone and we can get out of this area. But since we know how to kill that robot, we can get more XP or tech scrap. Ow. It's not doing what I wanted to do though. It's recovering way too quickly. Why won't it come over here? It's stuck. It's basically fucking stuck. Well, we can always use this. Well, if it's stuck, then might as well use the flare module. Oh, now it's not stuck anymore. There we go. And we did it. Took longer than expected, but we did it.
Jumpin' Jehoshaphat, you're a psycho!
Now,
Slow and steady.
this is gonna be a bit tricky because the next part of this stage involves fighting Pax all over again, and fighting him does not give tech scrap. I don't know why, but that's how it is.
Restricted area. Security violation in progress.
Oh man.
Purge threat. Enforce maximum punitive measures. Subjugation authorized. Overload. Renting in process. Backup drives initiated. Unauthorized personnel upgrading tactical analysis. Enforce maximum punitive measures. Subjugation authorized. Overload. Renting in process.
See, no tech scrap. Just vital boost implant. Which is still kinda useful, so it's not all that bad. Also, you can actually skip him. I just wanted to like show what it's like to fight him again. Second part of the room.
Look out! Duck! These, incredibly authentic-looking cowboys are out to shoot you right through the heart.
So he activated the bomb himself, and he didn't even know to get out of the way, thankfully.
Fight, you varmint!
And one more place to fight. And we're just about done. Pneumatic calibrator. A weaker version of the one gained later on in the game. Reduces stamina costs per dodge move.
Slow and steady, huh? Keep in mind, you can't take your time without taking mine as well.
I guess I did take up an hour just to cover all the 3 episodes. See, like it says, lucky coins still owned when you defeat the challenger will be converted into bonus tech scrap rewards. It's not that significant though, so it really is not that big a deal. Ow. We want to take things slow. Also mainly because we don't really have much stamina to spare. And we want to have enough stamina for when he decides to heal.
As the
GG.
Undertaker shuffled off this mortal coin, Warren wondered who'd take care of his enemies' funerals now.
So yeah, we're not gonna be using this much yet. Although it's really good, really useful. Turbodynamic capacitor. Core power consumption. Way too much. Let's make use of it. I mean, come on, it's just one stamina cost. I mean, core power cost, which will basically allow us to get this. So this is pretty much a solid build at the moment. And with that, we finish the 3 episodes of the first 3 episodes of the DLC. I'll be seeing you in the next part where we finally tackle the boss of Central Production B. So, finally gonna get through with this fucking area. Okay, that's all for today. I mean, that's all for this hour. See ya. Bye bye.